This organization, it's a labor of love that began when I started working with Mohammed Zakaria, who is the premier American Arabic script calligrapher in the United States. He basically introduced me to the world of traditional art. And over 10 years of working with him, I realized that there was a need for a centralized organization for Islamic art and music, so that people who are interested, who have some connection, they can go to some place and find out how they can learn more, maybe learn themselves. We're really grateful to have access to collections like the Sultan Abdul Hamid collection, because our community is primarily made up of first-generation immigrants, refugee communities. And what you realize is that the people that have come to this country often came without their grandmother's books, without their grandfather's belongings, and this feels very intimate to me. So I think it's very important to preserve these works and invite people in to be able to experience the joy that one has, like connecting with them.
Any master I've spoken to in Iran or in Turkey, the first advice they give me is to look at pieces, go to museums or go to libraries, look at pieces, and then try to replicate them. So that's part of our studies. Even now, every time I look at these pieces, I get new ideas, new inspiration, and it's so important.
The silsila is very important to preserve artistic integrity for calligraphers or illuminators, because a lot of times you pick up the mannerisms or the color of your teacher. There is also a spiritual transmission. Where are you getting your ideas? How are you viewing the world? Who are the teachers that have given their input and have basically nourished you?
We should never lose the cultural heritage that we have. So preservation is very important. This is part of what we do as calligraphers. I mean, we create and we make pieces and commissions and exhibitions and all that, but as also we are preserving our own cultural heritage and we're preserving this art. It's very important to preserve not only the shapes, but the proportion that is being given to these letters. I will never change that. That is sacred to me, but I explore some other things. It is also okay to try to bring new things, as long as you do it with respect and with a certain amount of love and sensibility.
Traditional arts in a larger way has spiritual, cultural, intellectual heritage ensconced within it. When you start interacting with it, when you dabble with it, this whole world kind of pops open and you have access to traditions that you wouldn't have had access to otherwise. And that's actually the motivation of Reed Society, where we are working with a global network of artists and musicians that are classically trained, that are able to teach people that are interested, so that they also have the opportunity to learn with a master who can connect you to the past and spiritual truths within these art forms and bringing it to the present and then developing it and seeing where we can go as artists going forward.
When someone looks at your art, if you can get that person be touched by what they are looking, you're changing their energy, and therefore that energy is changing the environment as well.
How beautiful is it if my pieces can bring peace to other people, even if just for a moment, by just observing it, or if it lights up their soul in any way. How beautiful is that? And the symbolism behind this art is that it's the reflection of divine beauty and light. So if that permeates people's hearts by just viewing it, that's priceless.